during
want
the
to.
recording.
It just talked right over you.
I'm sorry. That's the way this is starting.
Yeah.
Not even with
Okay,
the
well,
hello, this is MicroProfile.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, welcome everyone to the October 1st Q3, technically MicroProfile steering committee call. Um, a link to the meeting minutes is in the chat, and this meeting is being recorded. It'll be uploaded to YouTube at some point. I'm behind. Ryan's gonna get a whole list of videos to upload. And please click on the link to the meeting minutes in the chat and add yourself as I think I got all the steering committee members. There's a couple community members that could always add their name. So, all right, a busy agenda today. We are just talking about it. Going to talk a little bit about MicroProfile 7.next. I don't want to spend too much time on that one. Budget status from where we're at, program plan status for 2024. It'll also kind of get into 2025 as well. Um, and then we'll talk maybe a little bit about the budget in 2025. I don't, that's probably not a priority. And whether that's probably it. I might bring up the tutorial a little bit. It's a lot to get done, I think. And so let's get started. First pass business, I just did the micro profile 7 ballot results. For for the next release, MicroProfile 7.next. So far, I should actually go double check. I think the only one I've seen so far is health from Martin to do a potential update there. I did send an email to the working group and the Google group. I don't think I saw any other results. I might double check here in another window in a second. Um, Emily mentioned that Open Liberty is not a likely compatible implementation for another 2024 release. Um, I did chat with Roberto about it and um, this morning a little bit, and I guess it's a possibility that Quarkus could be a compatible implementation if we try to get a 7.1, let's say, done before the end of the year, assuming that includes microprofile health, and we expect we may have to do some things around open telemetry. But Roberto, do you want to give I don't want to turn this into a long discussion, across the entire team here. But Roberto, does that sound accurate?
Yeah, I mean, just very quick about the telemetry stuff is that because telemetry evolves like super quick, we do have to update telemetry very well many occasions in Quarkus, which it turns out that in the past we have to break compatibility with the current telemetry microprofile release because they were not aligned with the latest version of OpenTelemetry, with which we required on Quarkus. Um, so I guess that's the only risk that I see. So as long as I mean, it may not be an issue if the telemetry version is compatible, right? But we may require to have an update to microprofile telemetry to align with the Quarkus version.
Right. So we could discuss that in a technical call. Boy, if we do the program plan next week, I don't know if we'll have time for this topic, but I think we should maybe make a little bit of time. Well, let's pause on that. Um, let's see if we can cover it in the Google group. Um, Continue the discussion there, but it's a possibility for a microprofile 7.1. We don't have a whole lot of time left, so if we're
We
going to
could,
do it, we have to do soon quickly. We have to make
yeah,
a
we
decision
could,
quickly.
yeah, we could do 30 minutes for technical and 30 minutes for program plan next week as
Oh, we
well.
could try that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that is even more sensible.
Mm. I think what makes it more worthwhile is to release MicroProfile GWT bridge. I think this is kind of the demonstrate a good, basically it's a collaboration or ecosystem between Jakarta EE and MicroProfile. Since now David is on the call, I think it's the last time when I talked to Sergey really wants David, you take a look the current GWT bridge to see whether it meets your expectation because you are one of the key stakeholders. So I think he said it's pretty much ready. Kind of just want to get you to take a quick look to see whether yeah, meets your expectation.
I'm not sure I'll have the time to do it. But my attitude on that would be basically whoever doesn't provide the time can't complain. That's kind of how I
Okay. Okay then.
how I look at those things. So
Yeah.
the show does not need to be held up for me.
Okay.
I'm if I do have the time to look at it, I will do my best, but that's very difficult for me these days.
Okay. Yeah. In that case, I will pass on the message to him. Or John, you pass a message to him. So that it's just to say David won't complain if David haven't got time to look at it. So to see whether he need basically yeah, what else he need to do to release it. I think that would be a pretty good thing to release because Jakarta E also saying, okay, this is the kind of the discussed over again, but not much progress being made.
Yeah.
This,
Did Ariane participate?
I think at the beginning he did, and then eventually I don't think he participated,
Okay.
or maybe
Yeah. That's kind of the impression that I got. I mean, I saw him early, and then I didn't really see much after that, so I wasn't sure if there was stuff going on elsewhere that I wasn't able to see. But it would be really reassuring to get his feedback on it because he really wanted to do that functionality inside the EJB or the enterprise security specification.
All right,
Well,
and I apologize, everyone. I don't want to turn this
right.
into too long of a discussion.
Yeah.
Again, just because of what we've got. But it's probably worth posting in the Google group. Keep in mind that um, one train of thought was we could use JWT as a release before the end of the year, either in place of or in addition to a MicroProfile 7.1 release because JWT Bridge is not a part of the core platform. So
yeah.
that was the thinking.
Yeah.
Just to comment on that, the next version of JWT would be a majored version, and that would break compatibility from the version that I believe that we put in 7.
Okay, so that would be a good target then for
8.
next calendar year, yeah.
Yeah.
An 8 release.
So in this case, anyway, I keep it short. Yeah, from what David said, I will get Ariane to take a look.
Okay, that would be awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, David.
Okay, so we'll discuss this, well, at least MicroProfile 7.1 next week in a technical call. From a budget status, I did reach out to Sharon. Sharon provided an update. I think it was September 24th, so about a week ago. Program plan budget for 2024, right? 10,500 for discretionary spending. We spent 4,200 and we have 6,300 remaining, right? And all the other budget items are tracking as expected. So we have $6,300 to spend. And we talked about this a little bit on the marketing call yesterday. And a couple of ideas that we had were to reach out to Tarun, which we're in the process of doing, to see if he would be interested in updating the MicroProfile tutorial. I know there's been a pause on his side due to his work schedule, but he's resuming work now. I can see the Git issue updates. So that's one idea, and that would include adding a chapter on GraphQL, reactive messaging, and maybe updates to telemetry for the MicroProfile 7 updates. And we also discussed buying more swag that can be shipped to Jugs, assuming they do a MicroProfile. They commit to doing a MicroProfile session. So those were two of the ideas that we had. So I will step back now and see what others think of these two ideas and if there's any other ideas that should be considered.
John, I do not know if you want to share the screen, but you are not sharing yet.
Oh, are you kidding me?
FYI, yes.
Oh my gosh.
Don't even worry about it. It is just, I figured you wanted to share the minutes.
I thought you guys wanted to see my face full screen. That's what I thought. Okay, there we go. Okay.
Just for clarification, I do.
Okay, so any other thoughts? Do these look reasonable? And are there any other thoughts? Jan, go ahead.
Yeah, I think both are good ideas. Did you discuss also giving away swag on the EclipseCon, the OCX this year? Sorry for not joining. I cannot make it yesterday to the call.
We did mention generically about also giving away swag at conferences that we attend. We didn't go through a list of conferences, but this makes sense.
And spending some dollars for a roll-up that can be unfolded on a booth, that would be helpful too.
I'm sorry, was that just
a roll-up banner that can be set up when we have a booth or a joint booth or something like that? That would be helpful.
Yeah, actually, that feedback came from the Nexus. We were supposed to do something generic, and we forgot about it. Oh. Emerson brought it up. Emerson, you're here. Can you file, please, because it was one of your ideas. Can you file in Emily as well? Can you please help us file a ticket that says create a banner that can be rolled out and out? Maybe Emerson can keep it, maybe Emily. We can create a few of the most active microprofilers, and we can add this for maybe next year, maybe this year. That's a great idea. We can have maybe 3.
Yeah.
One in Europe, North America, and
exactly. Having them distributed over the continent, we can store the Europe one at the Eclipse Foundation too, so it can be shipped.
3. Yeah, so it will be 3. 1 at Eclipse Foundation, 1 in Europe, 1 in North America to start with. And this was tagged in December, in March, and we forgot. So Emerson, okay. can you own that? Yeah, can you own that ticket? And then we will figure it out.
Sure. Like I can.
Thank you. Great reminder, John. Very, very good.
Probably it's too late for OCX then. So it's normally it take a long time, right?
No, but we were not talking about the banners for OCX. That is not possible. Yeah. Swag, it is likely possible depending on the Eclipse Foundation and whatever we want to do. But banners are for next year.
Okay. Let's target Dev next year. Should I have it?
Yeah, easy.
There we go. Okay, so we'll cover that in the next marketing call. We should probably work on executing the swag aspect, how we're going to handle that. We can cover that during the next marketing call, but it sounds like there's general agreement and no one's pushed back on the couple of or on the items that we've discussed. So
when is OCX? OCX is when is that conference? I can't remember the date.
21st, 20th to 24th, right? Yeah.
Oh, this month?
Yeah, so I think next
we will not make it.
Too late.
Yeah, it's too late. That will not happen.
So what about if we order now? Without possible? If we order Swagger now.
You mean 100 t-shirts?
Uh-huh.
We need to know the stats. How many people are expected at the conference? In how many days? We don't have the data, so whomever is attending needs to create a ticket, provide the stats of what is expected, and then we can immediately shoot onto how many t-shirts, because it is expensive. We do want to do other things with the money. If we can have 100, it depends on how many people. For DevNexus, we know there are going to be about 2,500. So then we print 300 t-shirts, a bunch of stickers and things like this, because we know the capacity, right? So without the information, we cannot just blindly say we will print this many. We will know based on MicroProfile sessions. So we want every speaker covered with 10 to 15 t-shirts. And it's just all these logistics that go into detail. So whomever is attending that one, file a ticket and we will shoot it. We will prioritize it. Assign it to me and I'm happy to help.
So if Yan saying, okay, I want like 50 t-shirts, that's not just like aim for the bigger amount. If 50 t-shirt, do you think in 3 weeks that 50 t-shirt can be made to Germany means? If not, maybe we don't even need to discuss this.
Yeah, I think the Eclipse Foundation office might be able to do that, depending on their load. But yeah, that need to be checked.
Yeah,
so
probably
if we were to print them off, would the Eclipse? Oh yeah, in Germany. I don't know what what the Eclipse Foundation has in terms of vendors that exist in EMEA or can ship to EMEA.
I think there were 2 vendors. One is in Wiesbaden, that's the city on the other side of the river of Mainz, where the conference takes place, and one is I think in Heppenheim, which is close to Darmstadt, to the office, and close to Swingenberg, where the office was before of the Eclipse Foundation. So these are really local providers where we can pick it up by ourselves if required.
Mm-hmm. So, this all sounds good, but let me just bring this up. We can have a budget a year that says for members that are attending conferences, this is, if you're attending, you can have this many t-shirts and we can do a budget separately. For example, I'm going to throw Kenji here. Japan has this beautiful conference of over 1,000 people attending that is huge in Tokyo. I have been there and I love it. We brought like so many MicroProfile t-shirts with Tommy Tribe t-shirts and gave all of them away. And it was just a great thing. If Kenji says, hey, I am attending with my team and I want also t-shirts and no one else attends, how do we treat that? Whatever we do here should be iterable. If we are choosing, we cannot have favoritisms with any event. In my view, not even Eclipse. It needs to be all of it together as a overall structure where we say, this is the budget for all these events and pick first. Whomever comes first, choose it. It means you're talking about a MicroProfile or you're behind the conference and you have access to provide, like value for the t-shirts, right? So it needs to be, we should iterate. I think everything is great, but it shouldn't be blindly given because then it's unfair. For example, Roberto has a great conference in Portugal. How do we treat Roberto? There's the founder of the conference, or you, Jan, for Javaland, right? And then we have Atlanta, we have Latin Armada.
So,
I just want to make sure that we are careful.
Yeah, one question when we want to do it in time for the OCX, do we have a template for the printing, a current one and an accepted one? If that takes time, okay.
It's already in the drive. All of it is ready, and it gives you even the sizes, the printing. Everything is directed. We want the color. We want everything to be able to iterate. You can even find it in the website. it tells you what to print.
Okay.
So I also want to be careful. Boy, I'm trying to manage time here too. I also want to be careful if we try and do something for OCX. I don't know what the cost is going to be. I'm sorry, I'm trying to manage this in my head here. What the cost is going to be, and if we need to use any of this year's budget to work on the tutorial as well. So, um, so I'm going to ask Jan if you would be able to talk to Clark um, about the cost and ability to ship shirts for OCX.
Yeah, I think going over Clark would be the longer way. I can call the local office, Sylvia Miles, because she does the printing for the others, swag related things. And if we can make it, then I can file a ticket. One problem we have, this is a short week in Germany because we have celebration of the reunion on the 3rd of October, and most of the people then do not work on the Friday. So yeah, I can find out tomorrow, and if it is possible, then I can file a ticket, maybe ping some of you, and if you agree, then we can do it, or do it for the next conference in the next year with a new budget.
Okay, so let's have the conversation on the MicroProfile working group mailing list.
Okay.
Create a ticket first.
Yeah, because this is going to require, I think, a vote as well, right, to approve spending the money on this?
No, we do not need that. What we need is information on how many people are expected at the conference. Clearly, Emily is talking time sensitive. So we just need to know how many people are expected, how many sessions of MicroProfile are there, and who of the members, or at least that we know that are listed as speakers, are attending. Some of those that have the information of booths will know maybe IBM is there, maybe Red Hat is there, maybe Payara are there. So we can see, oh, the 50 can be distributed, 5 here, 5 there. At least the speakers must be prioritized above all else so that they can give the t-shirts. Well, it's like all this. So just add the information in the tickets, and then the sooner you do it, you can add a few of us. Definitely add me that. I'm happy to just help a little bit because we have done this before. And
yeah, let me check out tomorrow if there's time to do it. Then I will create a ticket and file a message on the working group mailing list. Then we can share what we do. And if it is not possible, then yeah, we postpone that for the next year or the next conference.
All right, that works. I'm going to try and move things along here. That was a good discussion. How are we doing here? About halfway through. Okay, the program plan status. While we were chit-chatting, oh, hold on. I think there was one other thing under budgets. I think, did I have it under here? Sharon is asking, is SurveyMonkey still a valid expense for us? I'm assuming it is. We haven't really used it, but I know we want to use it.
Yes, Emerson finally got his access about a month and a half ago, and now he can reach out to the community.
Okay,
right,
so
Emerson?
Yeah.
Okay, and in fact, Emerson, if you want to reply on the steering committee alias, just go ahead and reply to Sharon and say, yes, we have plans.
Yeah, Emerson is the person that needs to reply.
Okay. Let's see here. Going to the program plan status. So I don't think we have time to go through every single issue. Maybe we'll just go under strategic goals. But what I've done, oh, look, there's me. I'm logged in another window. Okay, so 2024 program plan. What I did do as well is I made a copy and created a 2025, which I think I linked, right? Where did I link it here? I know I did. I just don't know where I put it. Yeah, this is it here. The 2025 program plan. So I made a copy of the 2024. In fact, let me paste the 2024 in the chat so everyone's got that. Okay. Okay, there's the 2024. I made a copy, renamed it to 2025, basically draft, and that's all I've done, right? So let's talk a little bit about the 2024 program plan, and then as we go through, have we accomplished it? And which I think we have in some cases. And then are there any changes that we want to make for 2024? I'm hoping we can kind of do both at the same time. So going to the 2024 program plan, we did deliver MicroProfile releases. One, hopefully two, and I'm assuming that we're going to keep this for a 2025 goal. Evaluate new specifications and add innovations to existing specifications. So we've done that, OpenTelemetry, for example. We did evaluate new specs. There's still discussions. I think it seems like converters didn't really go anywhere, converter spec. But we have discussed new specifications. I think the bridge spec might fall under this as well.
MicroProfile AI.
MicroProfile data. Yes. That's actually a good one. That's MicroProfile AI is still under discussion. So I think we've met that one. I'm assuming that this will continue to be a 2025 strategic goal. Grow awareness and adoption of the MicroProfile brand in a measurable and actionable fashion. So we had meetings with Reza. Reza took this AI and went through basically just a couple of metrics to track during the marketing calls. So we took a marketing call meeting or two and went over this. And we've created a couple of metrics around Google Trends that were worth tracking, but I don't think we've done anything as a result of those metrics to actually use them to grow awareness and adoption, if you know what I mean. So we've had the discussions, we've got the metrics, and sorry, off the top of my head, I don't remember exactly what the metrics are. Google Trends, I just don't remember what the search terms were. But we haven't used that to I guess be specific about an actionable plan. So I think this is halfway delivered. I think we need to continue this into 2025. Are there any comments on this?
I have a comment. I was not on those calls, but my comment is it's a little bit challenging when we talk about adoption. Is a little bit easier because we can say that we can have developers check the social media and things like that, especially when they talk or we meet them at conferences. But for users, most companies, especially medium and large, will not tell us, public people, if they are using a technology. Only those companies, those technologies, or the vendors that they choose to get support from, get that access. And most of us are under NDAs. So when we talk about measurable, all that side is never going to be handled, or we will never be at front with who is using this. We talked about case studies with users, and it's really, really challenging to do that because of the NDAs and because of the privacy of those customers. So I think we need to be realistic on, we want to grow awareness and adoption for developers, right? Developers. When we talk about users, then that should be a different bullet point. And we should be careful on expectations because both are not the same. That's my feedback.
So we do have, for example, the Eclipse Developer Survey, right? Which is a measure that we could use to understand microprofile adoption.
That
Right?
would be great to use the survey monkey for that.
Well, and that was my second one is we could create our own surveys as well. So that are more specific to microprofile, if we deem that that's the right way to go.
That would be great, but this will be two different bullets under marketing or general, and one of them should be, like you said, SurveyMonkey, and there's a blind feedback. Clearly, we will take it with a grain of salt, and utilize that. That would be amazing. We can definitely create two surveys or one survey. I think developer server and user server should be two, but it's just not really thinking about all the things going behind it. But other people can talk about this. What do you think about this?
So I'm in the middle of taking notes here. I just want to make sure I capture this.
Emerson, I see you unmuted.
Yeah, I was trying to earn ideas, but I think it's from the point of view of the implementations, if there is a better way to get to the point, because if you only take into account MicroProfile itself, the brand, but how we can see the real uses of the specifications on based on implementations, and maybe there is a way to calculate, or maybe using the metrics in the maybe in central or something regarding the number of downloads of things like that is provide more specific numbers about usage.
Do you think also that it's a good idea to create a survey about MicroProfile implementations and see usability? That would be cool, actually. And you're bringing it up, which is a good point. Not only Maven, but also a survey. So far, I'm seeing 3 surveys here. And from Maven, anyone can check the stats.
Yeah, I don't want to get too much into details and discussing how. I just kind of want to cover status and details we can cover in other in future calls. So that is I did take notes that we have the Eclipse Developer Survey, and we need to start using our Survey Monkey for 2025 surveys. So that's some thoughts. Grow compatible implementations. I don't think we've put a lot of focus on that in 2024. Trying to, recruit, for lack of a better word, others to create microprofile implementations. Any thoughts about this and whether or not we should target this for 2025?
I think in 2024 we have like a compatible implementation. We have Liberty, Payara, Hallidan. No, I don't know whether John the Quaker is also running the TCKs for the 7.
Yeah, we are. Like Roberto. Roberto, if you could just do like 1 or 2 sentences, that would be fine.
Yeah, I mean, we are. The only reason why we're not compatible until now was because of the metrics situation we discussed it so long ago. Everything else was just passing.
Okay, so and then hopefully also Wildfly. So this would be like 5.
Right, but this is about
Wildfly in the same situation, yes.
Yeah. This is about growing compatible implementations, right? So the list you've mentioned have been compatible implementations for years, for more or less. we haven't tried to go out and talk to other projects or vendors about adopting MicroProfile, right? We haven't been proactive in trying to do that. The question
Yeah.
is, do we want to have this as a goal to actively go out and try to recruit? Or do we want to focus our resources on other bullets within the um, program plan?
So for this, actually, I've been promoting this in China. So it's in the Chinese company, a lot basically Jakarta E compatible implementations. I talked to them basically manage Brampton joined the support MicroProfile effort. And then it's another company saying, oh, okay, it's a kind of, we need to grow more awareness for the basically adoption and etc. Would be great if Gartner Gartner mentioned MicroProfile or something like that. So get more awareness. So they will basically um, adopt that. The other thing, what I'm thinking, if we can get a glassfish to adopt it, and then I think the Chinese like app servers, I think it would be probably will buy in. So I think it's kind of worthwhile exercise to talk to glassfish community.
Emily, when you talk to the community in China, are you explaining to them that MicroProfile uses the implementation patent, which means that to participate and become compatible, they do not need to be a member of the Eclipse Foundation or the working group. So they become compatible. Clearly, their logo will not be listed in the website of MicroProfile, but they can be added under the compatibility page in MicroProfile. And they can add blogs and they can have this kind of exposure. Because I do understand that many do not want to pay fees for the memberships and pay to the member group. I know that is a huge issue for many different companies, but a selling point, if should we keep the bullet, should be to write once again how the patent is linked to lowering the bar to entry to use the technology and become an implementer, right? And I don't think we have done any job on it to explain exactly what I just said, but in a manner that brings the technology in different languages. We can translate that, we can push it in social. I think that would be a great thing for us to do. Because grow compatible implementations, I think we have failed on it because we don't say, how are we going to do it? And my idea is just one. And we have 13 people in this call. Each one of you, if you would throw an idea how to do this, that would be interesting. As many more implementers are possible, we will have more users because it becomes, much more common and trustworthy, especially when we are launching more releases every year. But, it's just, what are others thinking? Do we leave it? Do we keep it?
Well, I mean, there are not many implementers or possible implementers, right? So I don't think you have to go for a lot of links to do something like this. It's just a matter of just going to candidates implementers and talking to them to see if they're interested, right? It's not the same thing as you have like a wide array of users that you want to target, right? So the number of implementers is very limited, right? So you can probably name them all here in just like a couple of seconds. Well, not a couple of seconds, but it's just like the audience is very narrow.
Right. Yeah. So to answer Amelia's question is that we don't even talk about money in the for the competitor to be used to be listed at all. So I think is to Roberto's point, I think we're better off to target glassfish and also maybe talk with Cumulus EE. I don't know. Originally it was implementation they support and then they stopped. I don't know whether the community is still alive or not. yeah, cumulative EE. I think it's once we get a Glassfish to implement a MicroProfile, I know it's a lot, the observers in China is pretty much borrow Glassfish. So they will probably, yeah, be compatible. So that's kind of, if we solve the root problem, then we can grow the compatible implementation very dramatically.
All right. I think that's a very interesting approach. That's worth exploring. I'm going to kind of pause discussion on this one to see if we can move to the next one. Grow micro. This is related, right? Grow MicroProfile working group members, committers, and opportunities for participation. So we're we've grown some committers through or are about to. I know I need to for example, put James Perkins up for a nomination as a committer. Sorry, James. Uh, and a couple of others um, as committers in MicroProfile. But working group members, I think it's probably going to be tied somewhat, not 100% to compatible implementation. So if we can via Glassfish, working that approach, get additional implementations that may help us also bring them on as working group members, right? Um, other other thoughts? I don't want to turn this one into too long of a discussion. Okay. I do think we want to keep this as a 2025 as well. So no change there and really no change to the bullets altogether. Um, Continue to work on aligning Jakarta and MicroProfile using CN4J Alliance when applicable. So, Jan, go ahead.
Yeah, we discussed that last week on the meeting. So restarting the discussions regarding config and the future development of config or move to Jakarta would be one thing on that list, for example. So
Yeah.
I would say we should keep that.
I agree, and I still think that the JWT bridge, even though we've had kind of a pause in the work being done, just because the folks working on it have been quite busy, I think. I do think that's an interesting approach that we should continue to follow through on in 2025 as well. So yeah, I agree with that both of those are going to be 2025 discussions. Define and track metrics for attaining program plan goals. I think I volunteered for this one. I'll continue to volunteer. We haven't really done this, but I do think what I'm going to do is go through the 2024 program plan goals and just look at the percentage that we're able to accomplish. So check mark, is green. And, is the resulting metric, did we accomplish, 20%, 50%, 80% of our planned goals? I'll see if I can do that before we get into additional 2025 planning. So I will do that. Let's see. Marketing. So sorry, I'm gonna keep moving on here. I'm trying to think about things that we want to discuss that we don't typically discuss in other locations. So we have marketing meetings to discuss the marketing goals. We have technical meetings to cover some of the technical goals. So I'm gonna pause on those. We can discuss those hopefully elsewhere unless we have more time. But I do want to talk about the infrastructure website goals. We also have David on the call as well, who kind of led some of this work. For 2025, do we have any thoughts about website goals? And have we addressed this in the 2024 program plan?
We've not addressed the first one. We're still using the Groovy based stuff. We would need a volunteer for that first one. So.
Okay, I'm gonna ask, are there any volunteers on this call? Okay. The question is, do we leave this on then for 2025?
I think we would need to. I mean, well, personally, I think that Groovy based stuff is terrible and should die. But
Okay.
the resources for it are the tricky part.
Okay. So
I
we'll
mean,
leave it up. It's a goal.
This is where what we're using projects, one of the sections, right?
Yeah.
it's everything under projects.
Yeah, projects is on the 14th. Projects is going to be hidden under resources. You will no longer see it as a tab, and we will go with the specifications replacing projects. So I would say, because we are in the plan of making specifications, the first tab and then the MicroProfile website, I will say let's kill projects and focus on making, you know,
So honestly,
making.
this could be as simple as an HTML template that people can use in their GitHub projects for specs and use GitHub pages. I mean, that's essentially what we do on the Jakarta side of the fence. That would be enough to provide project pages for the specifications. That's separate than listing the finished specifications on the MicroProfile.io website. So one does not alleviate the need for the other.
Okay. So for a second there, Emerson had a red card. I was like, did he get two yellows to get the red, or is it straight red? Anyway, so let's where okay. I don't want to have this discussion here, but where is the right place to have this discussion? Should we have this in the marketing call or the technical call?
No marketing.
I think it's kind of related to marketing, related to what Ryan is designing.
He cannot do it. No.
Hey, Bea, why don't you let people finish their
Go
sentence?
ahead. Sorry about this. Yeah, go ahead.
So it's kind of and then we work out a plan from the marketing, and then we can look for volunteers, because it's some, I think from what David is, some of the specification will be covered there. But obviously, not all project will be listed as the specifications. So I think,
oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say there were two really. So just I'll give a quick try at a high level. So the project pages are great for when you want to list some information for people who actually want to participate in the development of new specification content. So it can, the project page is like the README on the GitHub repo itself. You know what I mean? It's whatever you want to put there, and it should be sort of just MicroProfile branded version of the README. So like literally a GitHub pages setup. If we had a template that we could create that people could implement a GitHub pages setup that just simply allowed them to have a slightly more branded version of their regular old project README. That's essentially what that those Groovy pages do. And so, the audience for that is very narrow because not a lot of people participate in the specifications, but that would be the goal. And then the resulting finished product of the PDFs and all that stuff and the specifications, that goes on the MicroProfile website and the new stuff that's being developed. Yeah, so here's John showing why this Groovy stuff is terrible, because it doesn't work half the time. Unfortunately, it was written in such a way that it makes an excessive number of API calls, and it unfortunately purges the cache that it has every hour, and so you're basically never going to see any data here. GitHub has only gotten more aggressive at not allowing people to abuse their API. So the rate limiting prevents these pages from rendering.
Oh, okay.
So I do like the idea of creating just a pages template. It doesn't have to be Ryan that does it. I know he already does quite a bit. So let's bring up the idea during a technical call. and we'll figure out if, where we have the discussions, because I suspect that the people that actually create the content, they want to see on the template would probably be the folks in the technical call. And then from there, we could figure out where we want to do it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it would be the the point of it is basically the README of the GitHub repo itself for the spec that enables people to contribute to the specification a little bit better. It could guide people about what's being looked at and what's being worked on and what the goals are for the next revision. And it's all future-facing stuff. Whereas the finished product that would be consumed by large numbers of people, that goes all in the specification page for the version. Hey, this is version 3.4 of whatever spec, and it delivered this, and here's the link to download it. That's different than spec team pages, right? For the actual, if that makes sense to people.
Yeah. Yeah, sounds good. So these will also stay then.
And then increase specification metadata in website versions, links to PDFs, add pages for specification version.
Yeah, we're doing that. That's our.
Well, the deadline for that one is October 14th for everything to go live. Finally. So this can be deleted.
Hopefully we can't delete it until we actually finish it.
I'm talking about 2025.
We can be optimistic, but when we actually get it done, let's delete it and put it in a completed section.
Yes.
And then we can pat ourselves on the back for having gotten something done on our program plan, because that.
Have champagne now.
All right. So I think, let's see, community outreach goals. Is there anything here? I figure we could also discuss this during the marketing calls. We only have 3 minutes left. So I want to see here what else I had on my list.
You do that. I want to, John, while you look for the item, I want to say congratulations to Emerson for choosing to be once again their committed rep for 2025. You're so awesome. Thank you. And applause.
Yeah, everything is awesome. Okay, let's see here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know what I want to do, what I want to look for. I'm doing auto completion in another version of in my other browser here, so hold on a second here. Where did I send it? I'm looking for, here we go. I forwarded this email from Sharon on the 2025 program planning. So maybe in the just 2 minutes we have left, and I don't have, oh, here we go. So program plan development, draft plan should be created by mid-October. So that gives us 2 weeks, right? And we kind of got a little bit of a start on it today. Hopefully in the next marketing call, and then we can cover the marketing activities, and in the next technical call, go over technical, and that should pretty much cover us, I think. Hopefully we get a head start in the Google groups. And budget development then follows a little bit after that once we have defined what our program plan is, right? So that's basically the gist of Sharon's email. Please, everyone, take a look at this. And this is what we're going to have to follow through on a schedule basis. And that's all I have with 1 minute to go. Does anyone have any closing comments?
I would recommend, John, that we send a message to the community call and say, for this month, the marketing call, the community call, and half of an hour of the technical call will be used for program planning. Plan accordingly. If we do that, then we can match the deadlines and maybe tackle, with more detail some of the items. That will be the recommendation we talked at the beginning of the hour.
Okay, and by the way, in this email, this is an archive. Here, let me just paste this in just for everyone's convenience. There's a link to the email that Sharon sent that I forwarded to the working group alias. So in here is a graphic version of kind of the flow of delivering a program plan and budget, and also another PDF with a slide deck. Sorry, I didn't really get to these today. So I do want us to review this offline and kind of follow through between now and the closeout of the plan and budget. So, all right, thanks everyone. It's the top of the hour. Next week is the technical call / maybe review some more of the program plan. And then in 2 weeks, we have the live hangout. So thanks, everyone.
Great.
Hey,
Thank you. Bye.
everyone.
Bye for now.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Bye
bye.
bye.